When I called you, Mike, and asked you about doing this show, I was surprised to hear how far in advance many of your clients come to you. And since I don't do that kind of work, that surprised me. And you just indicated that perhaps for you as well, JoAnne, folks come to you long before there's actual legal papers filed. They may well have attorneys and everyone knows it's going there. Tell us about some of the pre-divorce things that you focus on in coaching and or eventually perhaps mediation.
Thank you, Robert. The best time to see a divorce coach is at the beginning of the process, because this is in the planning stages. It's before you've made some mistakes that you should avoid, and the sooner you get some guidance on what to do first and what to do next and how to get organized, the better off you are. One thing we run into a lot, and is a common mistake that people make and reinforces what Mike just said, it's very difficult to move from one household into two households from a financial standpoint. And there's a lot of denial and a lot of unrealistic expectations about what that's going to look like. People want to continue the same lifestyle they're leading, and the financial realities usually indicate a much different type of lifestyle. So that's difficult for a lot of people. And the more familiar they get with their financial information, the easier those decisions can be. But understanding the financial numbers is a key to that. And one thing we tell people is to put together a brains book. And this is a 3-ring binder. We tell people to get all the financial information together that they can. I also warn them gathering the information is not enough. You have to gather it, you have to organize it, you have to read it, you have to understand it, you have to digest it, and you have to be fluent. Because you can have the best advisors in the world, you still have to be the CEO of your own divorce. And during this process, information and knowledge are your two best friends.
I love that phrase, a brain book.
Yes, and it's been very helpful to many people. But you have to know the details of your own divorce.
So, JoAnne, in your experience, when your clients put together the brain book, as you say, with all their financial information that they should understand well, are they often able to do that? I mean, that is the goal, but how often do they bring together the information but just really don't understand what's going to happen in setting up two households and what's going to happen in the future? I mean, things they need to do about, for instance, changing beneficiary designations on accounts, or even estate planning, all the tasks that come after divorce.
Well, thank you, Millie. To answer the first part of your question, every divorce is different. Every mediation is different, and this fact becomes clearer every time I do a new mediation. So everyone handles the brains book a little differently. Some people put a mountain of information in there, but it really isn't useful unless you understand that information. So taking the time to gather the proper information is important, and if you don't understand something, you have to take the time to find the expert who can explain it to you. So it is very important to, as I said, gather, organize, and also understand what you are talking about.
If I can jump in on that, your point is very well taken, that it's not just gather together the information. In every case that is filed in the courts, we put together by rule of court, Rule 24.2, a domestic relations financial affidavit. This is the backbone of every divorce settlement or court decision. It includes a budget for all of your monthly expenses. It includes your income from all sources and a listing of assets and liabilities. And then I take a look at the information that I get from my clients, and sometimes I will look and I will see a listing of an asset, $1 million asset. It's a life insurance policy, and they've added the $1 million into their total of their net worth. It's a term life insurance policy. And there are a lot of very successful people out there who are very good at what they do. They earn a good living, they have assets, but they may not exactly understand what those assets are because that's not their thing. They run their company and they know they have this, and sometimes I've found myself being the person who for the first time is saying, That's not $1 million asset, at least not to you in your lifetime it isn't.